One of those.
Yes, man. Tuning in with the Den 302.
302. Yes. The Den 302.
Yeah.
And I'm Amina, and
I'm Shah The Goddess. What's up?
we're back again. We want to talk about something that, I didn't know about this until you brought it up, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think I had heard something, but I didn't know it was actually like 5 different, things. And when you brought it up, I actually went and Googled it, and I was like, wow. I think I remember a book that was called The Love Languages, but I never knew the details of it.
Well, see, that's how I found out about it. So I was going through a lot of problems in my divorce. And at the time, my sister-in-law was having problems in her divorce. And she was like, I really recommend reading this book called the 5 Love Languages. She was like, this saved my marriage. And she was like, and I think it'll help with yours. And I was like, the 5 Love Languages? And that was probably in 2005, 2006, maybe 2006. And I was like, wow, who knew?
Yeah. And the thing about it is that these are things that I feel like we do anyway, or we try to understand a person and what they like versus, what not to do in a relationship. So seeing it in black and white and seeing it written out is like, oh, wow, this is the more structured way to do this.
Yeah, we put words to it. So before it was just actions that we do naturally. And then all of a sudden it had wording, right? Everything has wording now. And so now it's like a real thing. And you'd be surprised because a lot of men ask me this question. And it is the funniest question to me when they be like, what is your love language? Speaking of which, guys, that's where we're at today. What is your love language? I'm actually excited about this. I've been waiting to get to this topic because it's actually one of my favorite topics to speak to. But yeah, I found a lot of guys asking me that. Like, what is your love language? And I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
What do you think that's about? What do you think that's about? Like, for more men to be speaking about this than women that you come in contact with?
Believe it or not, I think it's the art of podcasting. With podcasting and YouTube, we found like there are a lot more relationship gurus, and it's actually a male-dominated world when it comes to relationship advice. Why? I have no idea. And so I think when you look at the people like the Derek Jacksons and the Stefan Speaks and, likewise, they have been speaking about it, right? So now people are seeing this in their timeline and men are paying attention because it's another man delivering the information. And so it's just being received better. But I think it definitely has to do with like a lot of streaming, a lot of relationship gurus. I think had these people not came out, this would never be a conversation for men.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But it's real complicated though, because a lot of times, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but when somebody say, well, what are your love languages? And I go to tell them, I'm like, oh, my love languages are acts of service, and affirmations and gifts, right? And then they say, well, you never did those things for me. And I'm like, oh, I don't think they understand. When you say, what is my love language? This is what speaks to me in love. Right? So I think it sounds so small, but it's something I think we need to make clear, because this has happened to me on several occasions where they're like, well, you never bought me anything. I'm like, wait, I said, I like to get stuff. Like, hold on, I don't think you understood.
Yeah, as the other question would be, what is your love language? So that's strange.
Yeah, super strange. And just so you guys can follow us, and I'm sure most of you already know, and for those who don't know, I just kind of want to give you a quick rundown of what the 5 love languages are, and see if you can identify with any of them, see what speaks to you. The first love language is words of affirmation. Second love language is acts of service. The third is gifts. The fourth is quality time. And then the fifth is physical touch. Now that we got those out the way, what are your love languages?
All of them.
All of them?
Like all of them. But in order, I like physical touch. 1, 2, acts of service. 3 would be quality time. 4 would be the words of affirmation, and 5 would be the gifts. I mean, yeah, in that order.
In that order, okay.
I'm more of the tactile, do stuff for me, and I'm like, oh my God, they love me. Wash my car. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, it's something special about that. It's something special about people just doing things out of consideration, right? Not buying me a diamond necklace, but taking my car and filling it up before I go to work, just so I didn't have to make an extra stop at the gas station. Those are acts of service, and I appreciate them. I think for me, my number one love language is always going to be acts of service and gifts. And that is me. I don't know what you want to call me, materialistic, call me whatever you want, but those are the things that make me happy. The quality time and the physical touch are a lower priority for me. Mm-hmm. Not that I don't like. I had this conversation earlier today, because it's not that I don't enjoy quality time, right? Because I realized that a lot of times when we say quality time, it makes us think that you're being smothered. Like, quality time in my mind I've always associated that with not having my own space. But now I realize that quality time is not quantized. It is more about the memories that you create with the time that you have. So I do like quality time because I like to create memories. Right. I don't like being smothered. And so I had to learn the difference between the two.
Because I was just thinking, like, I know you like your time.
Yeah.
For yourself. So it's just like, okay. Yeah, quality time. And I really didn't know what quality time was until I actually experienced it. And, it might have been 30 minutes, 15 minutes, but it was the quality. What made it quality time was the total focus was just on me. It was just on us, like no other distractions. We're eating dinner, we're conversating, and there's no phone involved. There's no, TV on, or if we're having a conversation, it is a definite reciprocated type of conversation. So much so that when it was time to depart, we're like, wow, it felt like an hour, 2 hours or whatever. And it was really only like 15, 30 minutes.
Right. And
I was like, is that what quality time?
Quality time, is that you?
Right? I was like, wow, is this magic? There's some magic going on here. How'd you make 30 minutes feel like 2 hours? Weird. Mm-hmm. But, it was the focus on one thing, which was me. I love attention. And so I was like, oh, this is yummy.
And I'm glad that I've learned about this subject, because I used to it stops you from having your own interpretation of what love is supposed to look like. Once you realize that everyone speaks a different language and everyone is, loved in a different way, like you can't just have a generic love that you just go around giving to people. And that's the problem with the relationships today, because a lot of times we just try to lump it up in one big ball. Here's some general love. Go ahead, take it. And hopefully that helps you grow. I'm glad that I learned about this, because for the longest time, I had my view of what loving me was supposed to look like and what it was supposed to feel like. And so when people were falling short of my expectation, then I equated that to I'm not being loved, right? not understanding that the guy who is out here getting up in the morning and taking my car to gas it up, always making sure that it's nice and clean for me to go, or the person who's always asking me, did I eat today, and trying to feed me, I didn't realize that that was a form of love. You know, it was just kind of like, oh, those are things that my man does. He's supposed to. He should be filling up my car. He should be making sure my car is clean. He should care if I want to eat. I'm like, but he's not doing this. He's not doing this thing. And that's what I really want. And so in my mind, it's like, he don't really care. He don't really care. I mean, just because he cleaned my car don't mean he cared. You know, and then when I learned that, hey, this is a form of caring, this is a form of love, and this is the way this person offers it. This is their love offering. And once you understand that, then you find value in the things that you're given. And it's like, oh, wow. Now I cry if you wash my car. Like, oh my God, that was so sweet. Because now I realize that you woke up with me in your mind and you wanted me to be safe. You wanted my car to be full. You wanted me to be comfortable as I was leaving to go to work. And that is truly love. That's love. You know, and it didn't take much, but it used to really bother me. Like, I don't care. All you do is make up my bed. Like,
Yeah.
I can make up my own bed. I can get my own gas. I can wash my own car. You know, I need it to look like this.
But that's, that's through the conditioning. Because who told you that the love for somebody to love you, it should look like this or feel like this? I mean, do you think you just came off of your own and said, oh, this is what it means if somebody loves me? Or did you see that in TV? Did you see that in messaging, on billboards and things like that?
Honestly, no. I think that the reason why I felt like that is the way what love looks like, is when you buy me stuff, when you do nice things for me, when you tell me that I'm beautiful and I'm smart, those things look like love to me because they feel like love for me on the inside. It's what makes me feel love, right? And that's what the whole love languages is about. So what I had to learn was, because they're doing things that is their love offering and they're trying to make me feel like I'm being loved. And then I got this expectation of what I think love looks like, right? And obviously you'll start thinking, oh, maybe somebody told me that is what I've seen on TV or whatever. But no, I think I was really going on based on how it makes me feel on the inside. So when it didn't feel like love, it couldn't have been love. But that's because I had shut down, the inside of me to say, hey, this is your love meter and this is the way it has to funnel through, and then it'll fill you up. But if it doesn't funnel through like this, you won't feel it, and that's not really love. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it was, and I think it's important though, because the second thing I had to learn about this is that even though we all speak a different language, and somebody may be giving you a love offering, maybe their love offering is quality time, right? And that's not like the biggest thing on my list, because I'm looking for, like, you never buy me flowers, you never do this, but they're giving quality time. I had to learn also that, yes, this is the way that they love. This is their love offer, but it is okay if the love offer is not for you. I don't want the person to change how they're loving, but these are not the things that make me feel whole and healthy and productive in my relationship. So thank you for the love that you're offering. But the offerings I'm looking for look a little bit more like this. Like, we don't have to take the love offer just because it's there. If it doesn't suit our needs and our spiritual well-being.
So do you think you don't think it's right if somebody asks, well, what is your love language? And let me try to adapt or, change my offering to accommodate you because they're interested and they want a relationship.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it except for when it comes to me. So I feel like sometimes, seriously, except for when it comes to me, because I get it. You can have a conversation. Because one thing I always tell women all the time, men need to come with the foundation. The foundation is love, respect, and honesty, right? Those are the three things I can't teach you. And then everything else outside of that, I should be able to kind of mold you and guide you so that I'm really getting everything that I want from you. But I'm this person where I always want people to be who they are organically, and I want them to do things that they want to do. I always say that if you allow people to do what they do, you'll never have a question about who they are and what you mean to them, right? So I don't want to come tell you that, hey, I like gifts, so that every day you start coming home with a gift. If that's not what you feel to do, if that's not who you are, I want to train people into submission. I want the person that is naturally going to offer the same things that I'm looking for. Because I find when people start making those type of changes based on how you feel, eventually it turns into resentment.
Yeah, I had this conversation yesterday with somebody, and because she was saying the same thing. Like, she's like, I'm still waiting on my roses. I mean, I'm seeing this guy, and I told him I like roses, but he hasn't brought me roses yet. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, if you told him, so he is aware that that is what you're expecting when you're, you know, in a relationship, then, you know, that's a decision that you're just going to have to make. Do you want to continue moving on with it or what? But, you know, if he doesn't know, then how can he be faulted? Which brings me to, I remember, you know, when we were growing up in our teenage years, and, you know, you told me a man should never come to your house without something in his hand because your mom told you that, right? And, you know, getting out in the world and dating in my older age, and had a gentleman come over, and I looked at him, I said, well, where's the stuff? You didn't bring it? He said, no. What was I supposed to bring? I was like, you were supposed to bring something. So you've never heard that you should never show up at a woman's house or home or seeing her and not have nothing to offer? Have a bottle of wine, a pack of gum, something, a candy bar.
Not just penis, sir. Not just your penis. Because that's what they think. I'm bringing this. All of this. Yeah.
Right. No. But however, that person said, duly noted, never ever came back again without having something. Without having, it was a bottle of wine or a cupcake or, you know, something from the store. So I told my friend this yesterday, like, yeah, this was my experience. It's not, I mean, the person didn't know, but once they knew, they were like, oh, okay. It fell into place. Now, to your point, were they doing that out of obligation or were they doing that as a genuine feeling? I don't know. I would like to say both. It's like, oh, this is what she likes. And I like to make her smile and do things that she likes. So I want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can't hold people accountable for how you feel if you never tell them. So, I mean, the first step is to definitely let somebody know what it is that you feel that you're lacking and give them a chance to provide. But for me, it's just always this thing in the back of my head that it didn't come from you naturally, so it's going to be hard to sustain. I do know that after 30 days, anything can become a habit. You know what I'm saying? So if you start off like this, I tell you, and you keep bringing these things, then maybe it'll just become secondhand or nature. But I just like to know that you did these things because it's just what you wanted to do for me, because you thought I was worth it. I don't like to have to put my value into play. I don't want to have to teach you 25 cents and 25 cents equals 50 cents. Right? I want you to know, I want you to come in here and you already be able to sum up my value, and that makes you want to do things for me. Because when I value people, I do it because I value them, not because they had to tell me. It's what I want to do because I recognize that you're worthy. And so I think that sometimes when you give people these little hints and you tell them the things that you want them to do, it makes me question their intentions. Like, are you doing this because it's what you really want to do? Or are you doing this in hopes to get something else out of it in return?
Like a relationship. Like relationships take give and take, right? So I mean, I definitely feel like men um have a different idea or concept of what needs to be done to sustain a relationship.
Yeah.
And from my discussions with men, it seems like if they want to be with you, they're just going to do whatever the hell it takes.
Yeah.
Not, no ideas off of their own, right? They're just going to, observe or just try to figure out or ask questions and just do. And that doesn't, just because they're doing it doesn't mean that it's something that is genuine to them, to that specific person.
Well, and I feel like sometimes it keeps them from reaching down into their core and pulling out some authenticity. Like my ex-husband, he would find a restaurant that I like. I would go to the restaurant. I'm like, oh, this restaurant was so great. I love this. Thank you so much. It was great food, great service. And you know what? For the next 10 years, that is the same place we'll always go. It would be the same place we always go for the next 10 years. And then all of a sudden, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth visit, Shah's not excited about going to the restaurant anymore. Now you can't understand why I'm not excited. I'm like, oh, we going to this restaurant again? Like, oh my God, you love the restaurant. We've been here all the time. It's your favorite restaurant. Yeah, it was. And now it's not. I want something new. And so now that I done told you I love this place, you're just going to ride this out. You're not going to come out with nothing better. You're just going to keep giving me the same thing. And guess what? Now it no longer feels like a love offering.
Now it became an obligation to him.
Yeah. Now it's a routine. It's a routine. So there's nothing fun or exciting or romantic about this trip to my favorite once was restaurant. So that's what you got to be careful. Sometimes you got to be careful just telling people things because you just don't know what they're going to do with it when they get it. And this is so much better for people to grow and just think outside the box and come up with their own thoughts and, ways to be loving and kind. But also realizing that everybody loves to the capacity in which they were taught.
Right. And I think it's really fun too to just discover each other's love language.
Yeah.
Like take time to date and get to know someone, and then see how they respond to the different versions of love, and then like you try to say, oh, okay, this person likes this and they like that. That's their love language, and then let the other person figure out yours. That it can be fun, it can be lighthearted, and it could actually take you into deeper parts of a relationship as well. So I think it depends on what your objective is too. If you're looking for like long-term, solid, committed relationship, then maybe I probably would lean on Shah's theory of they need to be genuinely doing these things.
Right.
Right. As opposed to, oh, we're dating and he wants to make me feel good and he likes to see me smile. He's just trying to flatter me kind of thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Leave the representatives behind and just come raw. And that way everything is a plus from that point on. And when people do stuff, it's like, oh, it's a bonus. All right, he got me flowers, and then it means more.
Yeah, I mean, that brings me onto the dozens and dozens of roses that will show up at Valentine's, will show up at my birthday, and this. And after a while, I think after the first year, I was just like, okay, like the restaurant, like
it's our fault though, right? Because we get the flowers, we smell them, they smell so good. We go, we cut the stems, we put them in the vase, we put them in the water, we do all these things. But the sad part is that I think most women hate getting flowers. Most women hate the maintenance of trying to maintain the flowers. We all know that the flowers are going to die probably within a week or so. Then they're going to be crusty and just sitting in the vase until you finally get the opportunity to throw them away. But at the same time, we made the guy think that we loved it so much.
Because we did. We do.
But it wasn't the flowers that we loved. It was the thought.
The thought.
Yeah. It was the fact that you took your time out to do this for me today and you didn't have to. But it was never about the flowers. It was about being seen and respected and appreciated. So I think a lot of times we loop ourselves in that. And so then they see this response and they're like, oh, she loves flowers. And then that's it. Birthday, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, Halloween is flowers. It's on and popping from there. But they don't realize that it was really just them taking the time out. It's them taking a pause and acknowledging you in some kind of way, shape, or form. So.
Well, I liked how you brought in this conversation about your sister-in-law. It saved her marriage.
It saved their marriage.
That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, they've been married for, it's funny because they eloped at, I think she was like 18 years old, out of high school, ran off to Hawaii, married this man. And of course, you know, you're young, you're just becoming a woman, and now you're somebody's wife. And, you know, communication probably is not a high priority for a person who's 18 years old. And I thought it was great that she found that book, and then she got some tools and she understood, like, hey, it's not that we're not compatible. We're just not speaking the same language. I don't understand your language and you don't understand mine. So let's just recalibrate and start over and see where it goes from here. And I mean, they've been married for, you know, it's close to 20 years now. If not 20 already.
That's a beautiful story. If it was only so simple.
I know, if it was only so simple. But you rather make it hard.
There's other things going on, you know. The love language, sometimes it's just not that simple. But that's a beautiful story. So to you guys watching this, you know, hopefully this has been helpful. Whether you're in a long-term type of situation, you know, that you could use a little extra, a little pick-me-up, or a recalibration. This is good. Check out the book. There's an article on love languages that we cited in our article at Muzilog Woman. And if you're single, when I learned about the love languages, have some fun with it. Play.
Yeah, this is a good time to learn your love language. This is a good time for yourself. And, you know, it's so simple. You can just sit down with a list and think of all the things that you like to do for yourself, with yourself. And that'll pretty much give you a whole idea of what your love language is. Because a lot of people are like, I don't know, I think I like all of them. And let's be clear, just because you like one or two don't mean that you don't need 3, 4, or 5.
Right.
Oh, they all matter. It's just some speaks to our soul a little bit more than other. But in love, you should be getting all 5 languages all the time. Maybe just a little more lean in on the ones that make you feel a little bit more safe and protected and loved.
Mm-hmm.
But because I remember I asked them what their love language was, where it was a woman, and she's like, everything on this list. Like, who doesn't want quality time? Who doesn't want gifts, acts of service? Who doesn't want affirmations? Like, you know, all of it is a complete package in a relationship. So you definitely gotta, you know, you don't just pick and cherry pick and say, I'm only gonna take these 2 and leave the other 3 off. They all matter, but it's just which one matters more to you and which one speaks to your soul better. And let's empower our men to learn their love languages and feel okay speaking about them, and us honoring them the same way we want ours to be honored.
Absolutely. So share this with your significant others.
Yeah, for sure. Sit down and be a fun game too. Fun game.
Yeah, have some fun with it. Read the article. Let us know what you think. Let us know how it goes. Put it your comments in the comment section. We do take emails. You can email us at theden302@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, all of the places.
Yeah, man. And make sure you go check out our article, the 5 love languages. And it is on muzilogwomen.com. Muzilogwomen.com. Check it out. Read it. Let us know. There's some good stuff in there. It's pretty juicy. And I want you to know that we really take a lot of a lot of pride in writing these articles and doing these podcasts for you. These are things that people didn't share with us growing up. So now, we have this platform, and we just want to make sure that everybody's out here just being healthy and loving each other the right way and properly, and everybody's getting their wings out here and flying high. So check us out.
Right. That's right. And remember, self-love comes first. You can't love another until you learn how to love yourself first.
I know that's right.
And no burnout on that
experience.
one.
Let's just push more love out there, and I wish you guys all the best.
Peace.
Until next time.
All right.